Hi, and welcome to the Team Fit Life call for March 28th, 2016, the last Monday in March. Oh my goodness. Thank you, first of all, for being on this call. My name is Mindy Lawhorne. My husband and I, Lee, were the founders of Team Fit Life. We began as coaches having no clue what we were doing, super skeptical, and just really thinking, we will work this to get a discount. We can always quit. It's no big deal. And we did that just almost 8 years ago. I mean, we're just a few months from our 8-year mark. We did nothing really for the first year, started up a little bit, and then had to completely stop for a little while. And then about a year after that, we started working the business. I say we because Lee was always supportive. Now, he didn't do a whole lot in the beginning. And that was really okay, honestly, because I was trying to figure it out. I was trying to figure out my way. And I was also really working on how you do this and go through all of the ups and downs as coaches do without completely just, vomiting on my husband every day about all the ups and downs and how this person said this and this person was going to do it. I just know they are. And then they don't. And I really had to learn so much more than coaching. I had to learn balance. I had to learn how to not only train my coaches, but train my team. I had to learn the areas that I lacked discipline. I needed to ask for help in some areas. And through all that, we have grown so much as individuals. And the reason I want to start with that today is this. Honestly, Lee and I are way more concerned with who you become in this business than what your ranking is, how much money you make, or how many Success Club points you get. Because if it's not done the right way, we'll never grow. And there is just so much discipline and doing what you don't want to do right now that's required. We really start to grow as individuals. We start to really stretch our short-term thinking into long-term thinking. So I begin with that because today we're basically talking about the second quarter of 2016 and how you've got to firmly set down a time where no one's talking to you. You are not looking at your silly phone. It is on mute, and you can write out your goals for this next quarter. We do yearly goals every year, but for probably about almost a year now, we've been doing 90-day goals. And the reason I want to start recommending 90-day goals is because my mentor recommended 90-day goals in addition to yearly goals. And how can we get some of those yearly goals either hashed out or much closer by a 3-month plan? Because, a year is kind of hard. And when you think about a whole year, you're very overwhelmed. It's just like thinking about cleaning your entire house. You get very overwhelmed. But if we can think just about doing the dishes first, okay, that's a bite-sized piece. Or just folding socks. Okay, that's a bite-sized piece. And it's kind of the same thought process with different levels, times, and actions that are needed in your business. So that being said, we're going to talk a little bit about second quarter goals, and I've got 3 things for you that I think will help. But first, I want to just congratulate everyone lately that has done so well. First of all, we're having basically the last week of the Fast Track group. The Fast Track group, in case you don't know, is a group that's open to the entire Fit Life family. Now, you have to apply. You have to agree to the rules and what has to be done every week in order to be a part. But once you apply, I ask your coach about you. I ask your coaches under you about you. And if you're the right fit, someone that really wants to go and really be pushed, then you are, basically accepted into the Fast Track group. This quarter, we had a really good group of girls. Pretty much everyone stuck right in there with it. And we have had some major kind of breakthroughs. We have already had multiple rank advancements. We have had 1 diamond advance. We have had 2 people get back to diamond, and we will have quite a few in this next week or 2 also turning to diamond. And while diamond's not the goal, consistency is. That group is not easy, and it pushes you, and almost to the point where you're mad. But you have to have someone standing behind you, at least pushing you, and then also in front of you going, come this direction, come this way, do this, do that. That really, really helps you grow, because while we have the Power Hour in the Fit Life training, if you don't know what that is, please message Domini on the family page, and we will direct you to all of our Fit Life trainings. We'll have a full academy soon, kind of like step 1, step 2, step 3 that you can go through, or you can even send your coaches to go through, especially if you're a new coach. Now, if you're a seasoned coach, you need to be making your own trainings, hear me clearly. But knowing that we have all this, and so many people that have gone into the trainings, there are these people I'm congratulating, not just the Fast Track group, but the people that have got Success Club for their first time, the people that have sold a challenge pack for their first time or the first time in a long time. And for those people finally realizing this isn't about all the other people in Beachbody. This isn't about themselves. This is about reaching other people that connect with you, and reaching other people not only for their good, but for the good of others. And then eventually that will all trickle back to you. That mindset is what makes a solid coach that doesn't get disappointed that often and that has the right things in mind. We go over that a lot, of course, in the Fast Track group, but disappointment comes from really expecting something before it's time. Maybe you started at the same time as some other coach and they're doing great and you're like, why don't I have that? Well, you shouldn't be looking around first of all, because that's the thief of joy. You've got to just figure out what works for you. And that is exactly really what I'm going to start off with for this second quarter call. So have that in mind as I talk about these 3 quick tips. But as far after congratulating everyone, just people have hit Emerald and just really started stepping out of their comfort zone to grow, making videos they've never made before. We've got some of our Fast Track girls that have 10, 15, and 20 videos they would have never had unless I made them do it within that group. But it's something that expands you, it grows you. And I just want to say congratulations to everyone. For all of our new coaches, thank you for being on the call. Please know that we put these on YouTube so that you can have access to them 24/7. This is nothing you have to sit down and watch. This is something you can listen to on your drive to school, work, whatever it is, and something you have a resource with that you can take notes from, that you can share with your team. Basically, whatever you want to do, it's there for you. All right, few quick FYIs, then I'll get right into the second quarter meat. First of all, my challenge tracker is legit. Like, it's finally ready. And if you're like, what the heck is that? The challenge tracker is actually an app that you can find in your back office. So if you're a new coach or seasoned coach, you go to teambeachbody.com, put in your email address and password, click coach, let that drop down menu come down, and then click coach online office. When you click under news and training, they always have some really cool different things. Like we have always a monthly, challenge pack promotion. We have a lot of different FAQs on Shakeology, the things that are coming out, the things that are announced, different questions. But under products, news, and special offers, my challenge tracker is now available. You can click on that, but it specifically tells you in that back office how to log on. It's basically mychallengetrackerportal.com. And if you'll follow the instructions on how to get started, it's way easier, of course, than me telling you. But it's a way that you can track your challenge groups, track your challengers, an app to where all the participants can be in there with you. You can see what they're doing. You can make it part of, the requirements. Hi, instead of just being in this Facebook group, we're actually going to have a different tracker that, number one, I can share with you what you can expect from me, and then I'm going to let you know as part of this group what's expected of you, because this is where you're going to get the most forward movement with this pack that you've chosen. And also, you're going to have to get uncomfortable in order to grow. So that really is a great resource. And it's something, that's like different. It's not on Facebook. And while I love Facebook, don't get me wrong, and we do a lot on Facebook, it's just really nice to have a place outside of that doesn't get confusing or convoluted or too distraction oriented with all the stuff on Facebook. And I mean, honestly, that's the exact reason why we have the new Kajabi. And Kajabi's our Team Fit Life portal that is not on Facebook. It's just a whole other place for us to convene and go together. So go back and check out that challenge tracker. If it's not something you want, I understand, but at the same time, you need to know about it because you need to be able to tell your coaches and recommend it. I think it's a really cool app, especially for those of you that do a bunch of challenges or maybe have consistent groups going. It is awesome. Okay, number 2, Super Saturday is coming up. If you're like, oh my gosh, what is a Super Saturday? Where can I find mine? Number 1, go to FAQ 9792. And that's going to list for every location that they have right now. Now, something to think about. If you're like, they don't have a location near me, I mean, it's like 3 hours away, or I'd have to take a flight. You can, listen to me, run your own Super Saturday or Super Sunday. I know people that at first would run it in their house and they would have, I don't know, 2-3 people come. You could even do it in your backyard if you wanted, but basically you just submit the paperwork that's needed and they will send you the complete Super Saturday video, Super Sunday, along with the guideline on how Beachbody recommends that you run a Super Saturday, Super Sunday. And I'm happy to help you with some of the things that we feel have worked and some of the things we feel you need to avoid, just to have a really high energy, productive Super Saturday, Super Sunday. And in general, this is just a way that we all meet live with other coaches. We hear success stories, weight loss, money, all kinds of really cool things, but it re-energizes you. I love live events, and I think each of us should go one a quarter, for sure, one a quarter. And this is just a really fun, and sometimes it's free. Usually bigger venues charge $15, but all that $15 is to pay for that room or for the sound system. It's for really just the logistics of the event. No one, makes money. It's never going to be like $100 to come. It's just enough to kind of put back in the bucket so we can do the one for next time. So Super Saturday, Super Sunday, FAQ 9792. And also on there, you can submit to have your own. I did a Super Friday once at my house. It was fantastic. Oh my gosh, it was so amazing. And it's just kind of fun, to have people get close and really realize you're all fighting for the same thing, even though we're kind of in different areas of, the world. All right. Then 2 more things and I'll be done. The national wake-up call for today was about recruiting. It was actually really cool. I highly recommend that you listen to the national wake-up calls. If you're like, what is a national wake-up call? Every Monday it's 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, but there's a national wake-up call. Sometimes it's, Tony Horton or, Carl Deichler, the CEO of the company, or it's coaches just telling a little bit about what they do, social media, starting over, confidence, how to be proactive in your business. And today, Emily talked on the art of recruiting. Recruiting is something we all struggle with. It was a fantastic call. I'm not going to give away anything, but that was a really beneficial call. And plus, I just love from hearing from other real people, oh my gosh, they struggle too, but they have really good ideas. All right. Final thing on the announcements, that every month we have a new group of sales. Hi, sorry. Puppies. Hi, real life. Hashtag real life. I have dogs. If you go under tools and trainings, webcast and conference calls, there we are. That's where all the conference and all the national wake-up calls are. Just in case I didn't say that, I want to make sure that you can find that under news and training. Also under news and training is always the monthly challenge pack promotion. And with this being the last Monday in March, there are just 3 or 4 days left for people to get PIO at a discount, the 3-day refresh at a discount, and the new 22 hardcore at a discount. It's just a nice way to go, hey, just FYI, we had talked about this before. The discount will be finished on the last day of March. It's through the end of the month. No other great reason to get it than, the sale's going to be done. And the sale usually is officially done at the end of that month. So that's a great reason to kind of reach out to people again and just say, hey, I'm doing that Hardcore 22 challenge group on the second Monday of April or whatever. Now's the time to get the discount. We'll start then. You still want to be a part? All right, this is what you do. And that's just a really good way to have a reason to reach back out to someone. I do it at least once a month. And many times people just want to buy something. Of course, I'm always trying to get them to understand the benefit of being a coach. But sometimes it just begins with just a discount and going from there, because that's where it began with us. If you remember me saying that at the beginning of a call, put yourself in my position way back then. Or even better, put yourself in the mindset of where you were when someone first talked to you about being a coach, or someone first talked to you about a challenge pack. Think about that. We're in such a different place, but we have to remember where we were and just speak to that person that at that moment, at that time in their life, and with exactly what they need to hear. Not what we know, not coach lingo, hey, success points or whatever. It is, what does that person need to hear? They need relief. They need to feel better. They need to sleep better at night. They need to lose weight. They have diabetes, whatever it is. Think about what is it that they need to hear just to get started. And that's it. All right, into the meat. So real quickly, I will be super fast. I know you think that's probably, oh my gosh, so hard. I'll do it. I'll be so quick. This is basically the tips I want to give you for this time of the year. So with March about to be over, we're heading into the second quarter of 2016. Some of you have already made your yearly goals and maybe even the first quarter goals. And even if you haven't, now is the time. Tip number 1. For this second quarter, we've got to set up second quarter goals. Now, if you're like, well, I don't even know where to begin. Is that just Beachbody goals? Is that just my weight loss goals? Is that just money, business, whatever it is? I believe wholeheartedly that every set of goals needs to be within kind of your entire life. Like there are goals that I want to stay consistent with XYZ this quarter. It has to be something that you can see and that you know when you hit it. And I've got, of course, the basic things to let you know if your goal is worded properly and that it's a good goal. And it's not that any goal is a bad goal. You can't just say, though, I want to be a better wife, or I want to be a better mom, or I want to exercise better. Like it has to be something that you can measure. So for instance, number 1, now is the time to make your 90-day goals. Within these 90-day goals, these are smaller goals that are going to get you to those big end-of-the-year goals, but here are some rules. You probably have heard this before, but I'm saying it again. I never want to leave any stone unturned because when I get goals sent from coaches, they are things like, be better at coaching. Well, what the heck does that mean? And how do we know when we're better at coaching? They have to be these next few things. Every goal has to be number 1, specific. Please write these down if you're not. Number 1, specific. Number 2, measurable. Number 3, attainable. Number 4, relevant. And number 4, time bound. That's known as like the SMART, SMART goal setting system. But the bottom line, if it's specific, if it's measurable, it's attainable, it's relevant to what you're doing now, who you are, who you're trying to become in your end of the year goals, then it needs to have a deadline on it. So just start to think about that. Within the back office, there is a tips and trainings section basically about goal setting. There's even like a really cool little action plan and video that has been recorded. But if you say, okay, I want to be a better coach. Okay, what does that mean? How do you know when you've become a better coach? You've helped at least 5 people lose 10 pounds. You have signed up 5 coaches. You are going to do that by June, and that's going to therefore help you get to whatever your big goal is in December. If it's money, I'm going to have, consistently be making $100 a week by the end of May, and that's going to help me pay off this loan or debt or help me save, whatever it is. But that's what they need to be. My loving recommendation is for each quarter you have between 5 and 10 goals. And remember, these can relate to your big year goals, but they can't be the same as your big year goals unless you plan to get done with your big end of the year goals at the end of this quarter. So number 1, 90-day goals, they need to be specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and have a time frame in which you need to hit them. And they need to be really relevant to your big, huge overall goal and connect somehow with your why. If you have yet to do a why that makes your stomach hurt, then I want to lovingly tell you, you probably don't have a good enough one. So think about that and let's start there. So number 1, get that 90-day goals. Okay, now within those 90-day goals, I want you, since the first quarter is already gone, and I do this kind of at the end of every quarter, but it's time for just a little evaluation. And I don't mean self-reflection and, I've been horrible, or I can't stand this coaching thing, or I'm terrible at it, or whatever. That is not okay. What is okay is for you to say, all right, what have I been doing consistently that's not really creating the outcome I was hoping it would? Now, the reason you ask yourself that is this. If you've been doing things here and there, I'll be really great a day or two and then I'm out. And then I'm really great another day or two and I'm out. That is not consistent. So you cannot judge that activity, whether it's working or not. You can't. And the reason for that is because you haven't been consistent. Now, if you have been consistent, we have had the Power Hour training out basically since January. If you've been doing the Power Hour like pretty much every day, every week, maybe Sundays or Saturdays off, but pretty much 5 to 6 days a week, Monday through Friday for 60 days, you should start to feel a little bit of momentum. You should start to understand that all those names you're getting and all those things you're doing are creating for you momentum that you probably have never had before. But here's the deal. If you haven't consistently been using it, really consistently been using it, doing all of those steps every time you do it, then you may not, or it is not appropriate, I guess that's the right word, to start to judge if that works or doesn't work for you. I usually do everything at least 3 to 6 months, pretty much hardcore, before I decide whether that's a good or bad action. And when I mean bad, I just mean ineffective. So that's number 2. What have you been doing consistently that you've been working so hard? Legit working so hard, and it's not giving you the result you want. That's when we need to reevaluate and think, is this really the actions that work best for me? Is this really part of my brand and personality to post like this or to do these certain things? That's number 2. Number 1 is the 90-day goals that are smart. Number 2, we've got to reevaluate and think, what have I been doing consistently that works? And y'all, that works the other way too. What have you been doing consistently that's holding you back? Many of us have the hardest time just starting, or many of us have these huge goals every Sunday night. We start good on Monday and then we just completely drop the ball. Really, the action is all in our hands. We don't have to be do this business all day long. We just need, in my opinion, to do it for at least an hour a day. That can be an hour divided, but the divided hour needs to be a focused, divided time to work this business. I've already shown you how to do it in the most effective way I know, and that is within the Power Hour. Real quickly, if you don't know what the Power Hour is or Kajabi, you need to message me or Dominique Calendar, and we will open you up to that entire world. All right, now number 3, and I want you to take a deep breath because you're not going to like this one very much, but it's a must. I was told to do it, and I fought it forever, and once I finally did, I understood the vision, the dream, what it actually creates for you later on, and I was honestly kicking myself for not doing it before. Number 3, this one's going to, like I said, it's going to sting a little bit, but you probably need to get help. You probably need to get help, possibly maybe just one day a month in someone coming and helping you clean your house. Maybe one day a week. Okay, if it's not cleaning your house, who could help you edit your photos? Maybe some college student that you would pay, $8 an hour, maybe $10 an hour, and they're going to work 2 hours for you a week. If you don't think you have $20 to spend in order to make hundreds more, then stop going to the Dollar Tree, the Dollar General, and buying your children things at Target they don't need and that they will break as soon as they get home. I'm sorry, I'm a mom too, and I did that too. I'm not bashing on you. I'm speaking out of the things that I did that did not move us forward. We decided to start with someone helping us with the house. I told them, I only want you to come for a month, come one day a week, and if the business doesn't change, if the stress level doesn't decrease, and if our money doesn't increase, then I will stop having her come. We have had someone help us with our house and our laundry now for basically 5.5 to 6 years. The same thing happened with our assistant. Can you just please help me with a little bit of Facebook? Can you just help me with some photo editing? Can you help me make a newsletter? All of that created now for what we have. We have 2 assistants now. Not that they're full-time, but they each have their own jobs. I have a housekeeper that helps me with my house. And while you're thinking, gosh, that's a lot of money out, if I didn't have that help, I wouldn't be able to afford them. But taking those steps and being so uncomfortable getting someone to come and help me with my house, or slowing down enough to explain to Dominique what it is that I need from her, how it is to go in the back office, what it is like to post, more about our company, bringing her on trips to Summit and things like that with me. But that money that has been spent, whether it was that first $10 I paid or more, all of that money has come back to us double and triple and more. So I want you to think with a business mindset. I'm not telling you have to spend hundreds a week to get help. I'm saying, what is that one thing that you don't know how to do, that every time you start doing it, you get frustrated and you just forget it, that thing that you have yet to do, because every time you start doing it, it takes you so long to do it, or you get so frustrated that you just forget about it. What is that? I know some things came into your mind right now. You need to write them down. Those are the things you need to get help with. There are so many online Elance-ish, even though Elance isn't technically the name anymore, but freelancers that will help you edit photos, videos. They will help you organize your pictures, and like, these are all food pictures, these are all recipes, these are all, faith-based pictures, these are all, fitness stuff. People can even search keywords for you. Like, if you're trying to find something, you can even say, hey, I need for you to search every, bit of information on blank. They can do that too, but here's the thing. With those type of helpful services online, you make the parameters, you tell them how much you can pay, and they don't get the money. It goes into an escrow until you're approved, until you're satisfied with that work, and you're pleased, then you hit send and that money goes in their account. So number one, your money's safe, because I know that's probably something that went through your head. But if you don't have 10 or 20 bucks extra a week or, to spend, I want you to think about how scared money doesn't make money. And even though the profit term for that is scared money don't make money, but you've got to start thinking as a business person. You can't do it all. And if you think you can do it all, some other things are going to fall through the cracks that you cannot afford to fall through the cracks. And I'm talking about your family, your marriage, your stress level. One of the hardest things to do was for me to get help. I want to lovingly encourage you. It was the best thing with this business that we ever did. And if you start praying for it now, I'm not kidding. Somehow God will put in your path someone, or maybe someone posting, hey, I kind of do this on the side. It could be at your church. It could be on the college, part-time work list, which we always had like a college, I don't know, it's almost like a classified thing, but people that do certain works and they were willing to, hire out for $8 an hour, $10 an hour. There are always those things. And yes, you're going to have to explain to them what you want and what you need, but it's worth it in the end. Slowing down for that little bit of time is going to help you speed up so much. There are people that can even take that favorite photo of yours and make the background white, black, orange, pink, and you can use that photo over and over and over again for challenge group invitations. What is coaching group invitations? I mean, it's ridiculous. And I am happy to share with you, which I will be having this in our Coach Training Academy within the Fit Life Academy, is a delegate or die list. And this is actually from Smart Success. But there are so many areas that we could delegate. And I don't mean to have everyone else do everything, but just like a couple of areas, 1 or 2 or 3. And within that time that someone else does it, and many times they do it way better than we do it anyway, that can afford us just enough time to get the training we need to be better, to contact all those people we would need to contact, to make those videos, to do whatever it is that can help us move forward in this business. So for this third quarter, you have 4 days to make your whole list of these 3 things. Number 1, your goals for the next 90 days. Number 2, what is it that you've been really honestly, pretty much daily, consistently doing that isn't getting the result for you that you want? How can you change? How can you learn more? How can you figure out how to do it in a better way, maybe even at a different time? And then number 3, you need help. Who can you get help from? What can you learn that's going to help you with that stuff, or who can you get to help you? I lovingly encourage you to do that so much, because that's what starts to change things. I felt so guilty about getting like a house, someone help me at the house, which by the way is totally wrong thinking on my part. But I was like, well, if we're going to spend $20, a week, or $30 or $40, whatever a week for her to do this stuff, I better make it count. So to me, that was my accountability to do better in the business, to add more. And I worked my butt off so that I did not have to fire her. And like I said, she's been with us ever since. All right, you guys, thank you so much for being on the call. Share this with your team. Share this with your people. And again, congratulations to all the people that have done so well and that will be doing well by the end of this quarter. We'll be having some awesome incentives coming next quarter for my personally sponsored and those people who get to be part of the Fast Track group. That there's some really cool incentives that we allow those people too that are willing to take a chance to better their business and themselves and to really be pushed and hard pressed in order to make that change. Thank you guys for being on. I'll talk to you later. Bye.